Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the firm differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Hello and welcome to the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today this is a bonus episode with an excerpt from our Law Firm Growth Summit. Our summit is coming up. Our 2022 event is coming up December 5th to the 7th, and we want you there. The Law Firm Growth Summit, if you're not familiar with it, is an event that is absolutely free to attend. It's run virtually. We do a really good job with virtual events. It's not your typical Zoom webinar. It is a conference platform where you can come and meet other attorneys and other people who are on at the same level as you and collaborate with them. We give you an opportunity to network. We give you an opportunity to connect with them. We also bring in some amazing vendors, and we have a vendor booth area where you can get access to questions that you might have for them on what their product has to offer, special deals that they might offer that is not available anywhere else, and you're getting that exclusively at the Law Firm Growth Summit. Now, the real meat and potatoes of the event is the topics, the sessions, and what we did this year is we broke up the tracking of those sessions into your specific law firm size. So we have the startup category, which is 0 to 250K in revenue. We have the expansion category, 250K to 2 million, and we have the legacy creator category, which is 2 million and above. And those are just guidelines, but we really tried to gear the topics to our variation of audience. We want everybody to be able to attend and get value. So we don't want you to feel like, oh, this is beneath me, or this is too advanced for me. We want you to have the right information for you. Now, we have over 30 leaders and experts and influencers in the industry that are going to be gracing our stage. So you want to make sure that you don't miss it. You want to go to lawfirmgrowthsummit.com/podcast, lawfirmgrowthsummit.com/podcast, and join us at the 2022 Law Firm Growth Summit. There's other exciting things going on. We're going to have some game shows, some prizes, and other opportunities for you to really enjoy the event and get the most out of it possible. On top of that, we have 2 amazing keynote sessions. We have Mike Michalowicz, renowned book author, of Profit First and Clockwork and Pumpkin Plan and Fix This Next and Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. He actually spoke last year at the 2021 event on Profit First. This year he is not talking on Profit First, but everybody loved his talk so much that I had to have him come back. And he's going to be doing a talk on creating a business that can run without you, based on the content of his book Clockwork. It's going to be a great talk. You want to make sure that you're there. And then we have Jennifer Cuthbert, and Jennifer is a rock star law firm owner out of Atlanta. She's owns the Atlanta personal injury firm, and she is one of only 10 women-owned business to make the Inc. 5000 list this year, which is huge. Rapidly growing firm, and she's going to be talking about how to stake your claim, right? Take what's yours, own the right to be successful, and how to do it while balancing your personal life in the process. She's a mom. She's got young kids. How does she do it all with all of that other stuff going on without sacrificing those pieces? And I'm excited to have her joining us as a keynote speaker as well. So some really amazing stuff going on at the Law Firm Growth Summit. Remember, registration is absolutely free. All you got to do is go to lawfirmgrowthsummit.com/podcast and register and sign up. So the link to that is in the description of this episode. You don't have to go far. Just go in your podcast player, click that link, and go in and put in your information and make sure that you register for the event so you can join us at the 2022 Law Firm Growth Summit.
So we are talking about 90-day multi-channel content plan. So if you were with me in the earlier session, I talked about why this is important, right? Why we care about multi-channel content plans. So thank you for joining me. And let's see. Oh, great. Didn't reload. Show anyway. This is me. Okay, I'll skip that. So for those who didn't get any intro before, I'm Mark Homer. I'm the CEO of Get Noticed, Get Found. We are a marketing agency that works with law firms all over the country, and been doing it now for, gosh, this is our 10th year. So I've been doing it for a while, just specifically with law firms. Before that, I've done a lot of stuff in the agency world and technology world. So I got my start at IBM, building websites and stuff for large companies. Just happened to be the right place, right time in '95 when all that stuff started happening, and kind of transitioned more over to like agency world, and was working with kind of like Fortune 500 type clients for a while, which was fun. They have big budgets. You got to do a lot of cool things early on, but at the same time, one thing that I missed was really getting a sense. I love the data and love knowing what was going on, and I just didn't have the connection to. We were doing a lot of cool stuff for a really big brand, but what was it really impacting? And people were just spending millions left and right, and didn't really care. So I started working more with small businesses, and really found my passion. Ended up having a bunch of law firm clients. Next thing you know, that's all I do now. Love working in the legal industry, love what you guys do and how important you are, and the little bit we can do to support. That's what my team loves to do. So let's talk about multi-channel. Multi-channel basically means that you're targeting more than one particular area of marketing. So you're not just focusing on a website, you're not just focusing on social media, you're not just focusing on maybe a radio ad or YouTube videos, Instagram. Like, it's trying to say, how do we attack multiple channels, knowing that our clients aren't just living in one homogenous place. They're not just going to search. They're not just on Facebook, right? Like, your target clients could be in a few different places, and one person could be in multiple places. And so you want to kind of hit them and follow them around and stuff in those areas. So it's kind of like, help reinforce that brand with your potential clients. You'll hear the term omni-channel. I like the concept of omni-channel, but I mean, multi-channel is like an older term. Omni-channel is like, just like, us marketing people, we like to have a new buzzword that we can talk about and write books and articles about. So omni-channel, the whole idea of that is really just trying to understand the consumers in the middle, just like I was showing on one of the slides earlier when I presented. Consumers in the middle, and you're working around and trying to keep the channels connected based on where they go. So there's actually a lot of tools and stuff for that, but I'm just going to kind of talk in terms of multi-channel, meaning all this stuff. And what's a channel, which is what a lot of people usually ask. All right, why do we do this, right? So kind of reinforcing some stuff I said earlier. This is what kind of like the online meant to a law firm in 2005, right? So this is Jones Day, not a small firm, and this is their website. Not sexy, not fancy, and that's pretty much all they had online. Do you remember the days where you actually gave somebody your URL and you said, okay, just go to www. Insert my law firm name here, it's very long, .com, and you had it on your business card with all that stuff there, and people literally type that in. Whereas now they just type in your name and you hope that it better come up, right? So that's kind of where we were in 2005. Okay, so here we are. So we've got this is what the internet looks like now, right? If you were in my earlier session, I talked about this, where just it's so fragmented, people are coming in different directions. So we need to be in multiple places. And so how do we do that, right? So let's move on. This is another slide I had earlier. Again, this presentation was built before the other one. So we've got percent of website visits from social media have risen year over year. Obviously, a significant bump during Q2 of last year when we were all stuck at home, quarantined. So, but just know that people are hitting your law firm websites. I mean, even 7.5% from last year was a large number, and the fact that we were, heading into over 10% and more from social media. And this is just, again, average law firm clients we work with. It's not somebody who's just doing all kinds of, deep in social media stuff. We do have a couple of clients that are very active, and I'll give you an example of one of them here in a little bit. All right, so what content do we use in a multi-channel strategy, right? And I think Jordan talked a little bit about this. This came up in some of the panel discussions. So one of the good things is in some of those studies I referenced earlier, here's a couple different points from them. The one thing on from McKinsey is that they're saying that they're seeing a refocus, and whether it's because of COVID or just a kind of a pullback on businesses that can connect with consumers because they're looking for things that are local, right? So consumers, I don't know if it's because, our world shrank or things got scary, or just we're tired of just, like the non-existent corporations, but there's this idea of like local again. Now, the good news is that law firms, most of you are not going after national business, right? Many of you are like a local law firm that's focusing on your market, which is great, right? So this works really well for law firms. So just know that if you talk about things in your area and you stay local, forget who said it, maybe it was Guy or somebody, but they talked about all these like local places where you can go be, right? So maybe the Chamber of Commerce now has a Facebook page where people can connect, or they have some kind of like platform that people are able to talk on. Nextdoor, like there's people like on Nextdoor app that, like you can have, business recommendations and stuff from. The other thing is on that CMO survey, the other thing that was really fascinating is that they said that they're seeing customers are prioritizing trusted relationships. Now, in this trust, right, is obviously reviews, like what other people say about you. But really, they wanted, consumers were looking to companies that they could trust more than focus on price over the past year. So again, very interesting because fits really well, right? If you're, you feel that the local law firm, and you're coming from a place of empathy and help, and you're going to get that natural trust. You buffer it with some reviews and stuff, all the better. All right. So when you think about content, knowing that, local and trust are big things people care about, put yourself in your client's shoes, right? What do they actually need? What are they struggling with? Really think about, like the things that they are going to go search for before they even think they need a lawyer. Right? A lot of times people are like, I don't know about this. And we go to Google and we think about things, right? Like, what are those things they're searching on? What are they asking a friend about that they're really not really sure how to even put in the words what they need, right? It's not, I need a lawyer. It's what am I struggling with before that, that I didn't realize even a lawyer could help or was important in this process. So if you can catch them at that point, then you can help them down. And again, I think Guy and Allison talked about this in that panel discussion. Lead with empathy, right? Like, having that empathy, having that big heart, like it. And I know sometimes it's hard because you have a rough day and stuff like that. But like as lawyers, like they're coming to you as that trusted relationship in a very vulnerable place many times. Whether even if it's like people are like, oh, I do estate plans, it's not that they're opening up their financials. They're talking about what happens if they die for their kids, right? Obviously, divorce and criminal and DUI. These are very vulnerable moments for people. So leading with empathy is very important, and help, right? Like just go there and be helpful. So that when I talk about content, I always try to just put it in this framework. Put yourself in your client's shoes. Think about what they're struggling with, and then try to just provide some good answers and help them. Okay, so how do we do this? I think that I forget who said. Somebody said, maybe it was Seth in one of the panel discussions, said almost this exact point where he's like, pick the thing you like to do and that you're comfortable with, right? So start with that. I recommend, and I put this at the bottom here, I recommend, and it sounds crazy that, like, oh, I don't want to do video, but answering questions on video, we have found for a lot of our law firm clients that it's a place where, they're used to like being in front of somebody in a consultation or, down the process and answering questions from a very empathetic place, right? They're looking across the table, looking across the desk from somebody and, trying to make them feel okay. And it's going to be okay. And then walking through, here's all the different options and alternatives. And you need to understand this. And I'm here to help, right? If you're used to doing that every day, do that on video, right? But at a minimum, I think you need just a few channels at a minimum. Your website's got to be one. Please incorporate email. So email is very important. It's something that I think gets lost. But the reason it's important is not just the fact that you have an email, but you're also, if you are trying to send emails out, it means you're also trying to capture email addresses. And being able to capture your audience and stuff will come huge benefits later on as we start trying to say, oh, we need to measure and track and do more things with that audience to understand things. We're not there yet at this point. In terms of, like where this in the content plan, but down the road, focusing on email is going to also have you focus on capturing emails. And I want that to be part of your process. And then just start off one social media channel. Where are you most comfortable? Where do maybe you already have a following? Where have you started? Right. Again, if you are already comfortable in one or two, pick another one.
Thank you for tuning into the Profit with Law podcast. Your feedback is extremely valuable to us, as well as helping us reach more people with this valuable content. please leave us a rating and review in your favorite podcast directory. Join us again next time when we are back with even more strategies to profit with law.